It's your boy Luke, back again for another Fades and Sleepers video, this time for our Week 3 NFL DFS slate. We're going to be covering the players being the most overhyped going into this week, my fades, as well as the guys being a little bit overlooked. Those are going to be my sleeper picks. The picks are going to be data-based as always, taking into account not only a player's median projection, but also their chances of hitting a ceiling performance, which is what we're looking for in a DFS format. If you're looking for even more NFL DFS content, make sure to check out the rest of my content I have on the channel. We have a full Week 3 slate breakdown, my value picks, as well as a live stream coming Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday to cover the entire slate, my ownership projections, some game theory, any Q&A that you guys have. So I highly recommend that you guys stop by with any questions that you have, whether it be for season-long DFS, whatever it is. I hope to see you there on Sunday. But without further delay, let's hop into the fades and sleeper picks here for Week 3. And starting off with the fades, at number 3 we have Rob Gronkowski of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's going to be costing $5,500 this week, which is a huge hike from where we saw it in weeks 1 and week 2. So he's the number 3 price tight end on the slate, and I only have him projected for 11.7 points right now. A lot of that has to do with his tough matchup against this Los Angeles Rams defense, who not only is the number 1 ranked defense against the pass this year, but also was there in 2020. So continuing their dominance on the passing side of the ball like they did there in 2020. Again, his play has been encouraging to this point. That's why the price has gone up so much. He had a huge performance in week 1 with 2 touchdowns, same there in week 2, but again, it's been highly touchdown dependent. If you take away that production, those catches there in week 1 and week 2, he's actually one of the worst tight ends on the entire slate. Somebody who's not getting targeted very much, and again, has really had those huge plays that have paid off from there in week 1 and week 2, but that's going to catch up with him. And I think it happens here in week 3 against a tough LA Rams defense who, like I said, is very good against the pass. And honestly, I debated putting Tom Brady on this list, but you guys know how it goes, right? Anytime you fade Tom Brady, it doesn't end up working out. But for me, a much more consistent fade, something that I definitely can stand behind this week, is Rob Gronkowski. Was just a little bit lucky there in week 1 and week 2, catching both of those touchdowns. I think some of that production gets spread out to some of the tertiary options on that team, especially if Antonio Brown's out, like Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, that sort of thing. At number 2, we have Alvin Kamara at $8,200. He's also the number 3 ranked running back on the entire slate in terms of price, and going to be relatively high owned here, 19.2% right now. That's what I have him at, and only for a 16.8 point projection. And a lot of that has to do with, one, the matchup, just like Rob Gronkowski, not the best matchup against these New England Patriots, but also somebody who's had a horrible start to 2021. So perhaps the opposite problem to somebody like Rob Gronkowski. I don't necessarily think that changes this week. Unfortunately for the Saints offense, their offensive line has been absolutely dreadful. It's been very evident in the play of Kamara as well, where you can't get anything going on the ground. If you take a look at how he played in week 2, he had more carries than rush yards. I mean, that's horrible. He's one of the most talented running backs in the league at making people miss, but it's hard to make people miss if you're getting hit in the backfield before you even have a chance. He's still a great producer out of the backfield. We're going to see 5+ targets every single week for him. A good amount of receiving yardage, perhaps even a touchdown there, but at almost 20% ownership, you really need a ceiling performance from Kamara. You're not looking for 17 to 18 points. You need 25 plus points from him to pay off that kind of price tag. And for me, he's a clear fade on this slate. At number 1, we have Lamar Jackson, who is going to cost $7,800 here, and also the number 3 ranked quarterback here. So perhaps it's a problem with the number 3 ranked players, but going to be owned in 19.5% of lineups, which for a quarterback is a staggering amount of ownership. He's by far the highest owned quarterback on the slate right now. It's not even close. Number 2 being Patty Mahomes at just over 12%. But at 19.2 projected points, I don't love the matchup against this Lions team. I mean, obviously the Ravens should go out there, kick some ass against this Lions horrible defense, but he's complained of hip tightness after doing that backflip last weekend. And again, Green Bay absolutely gashed this team against the run. They didn't do it with the quarterback though. They did it more traditionally by running the ball up the middle. I mean, using guys like Aaron Jones, they had A.J. Dillon running the ball as well, and they had a ton of success. This Ravens team that is known for their rushing ability has an even better offensive line. Also 3 or 4 running backs that are capable of gashing them. They have Latavius Murray, Tyson Williams, also even Le'Veon Bell and Davante Freeman. And Freeman saw a good amount of carries in that last game. I don't think a lot of people expected that. And as a result, I'm fading Lamar Jackson this week. I expect the Ravens to go out there, run the ball 40, maybe even 50 times, but not with Lamar Jackson. Again, he's a little bit gimpy this week. Maybe shouldn't have done the backflip for the celebration, and I expect them to rely on those running backs instead. That's all I've got for the fades and sleeper picks. Thanks for stopping by as always. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments who your biggest sleeper pick for the week is. I mean, you guys know who I'm picking. That's Teddy Bridgewater. Was there at number 1, and being completely slept on. I mean, sub 2% ownership, great matchup against the Jets, but go ahead and let me know who your biggest sleeper is. Would love to get some debate going. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and do so. It really helps you out with growing the channel and getting this out to even more people. Good luck with any of the lineups you guys decide to enter this weekend. I hope to see many of you on Sunday, again at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time for that live stream. So bring all the questions you have, and until then, see ya and peace.